Hi. I asked Mauricio to make a poll on the Reflexology World Network Facebook group. Here it is. As you can see, initially there were only two options. Someone added two more options. I was surprised to see the not the same in both feet option. I didn't imagine that it was possible, but obviously it is. The second option added was start with the heel and then the forefoot. Okay, that is basically the same as I call heel walking. So I see them as one thing. About 10% answered they are using the forefoot. That does not surprise me, but some of the questions following the poll surprises me. Foot reflexologists should be above average interested in feet and foot health, so they should also be aware of walking style and shoes related to these different walking styles. I hope this poll and this explanation that I'm coming with will raise the awareness of how you are walking. One of the comments on the poll is the use of the term forefoot. Uh, I know it might be misleading for many people, uh, but it's not my term. It's used among forefoot runners and walkers. There is a difference between the ball of the foot and the impact point for walkers using the forefoot. Um, this picture shows where the first impact is when you do forefoot walking and forefoot running. Obviously, someone needed a different word to distinguish the areas used. When I get a new client, the first thing I wish to do is to stop the environment's impact on the client so that the problem the client have will not continue and even be worse. For example, if someone is eating junk food all day long and they have a stomach problem, it will be natural to make sure that they change their eating habits. If they don't, it will be a waste to treat their stomach problem. So what do I do when the client have a muscle or skeletal problems? To me, it feels natural to start at the bottom. When we are walking or standing, everything is resting on their feet. So if the feet are misaligned, the whole body will be misaligned. And even neck problems can have its origin in the feet. So just a little jump back to the walking. Have you ever seen a dog, pig, a horse, any animals walking on their heels? No. And through the human evolution, we have been specialized to walk on the forefoot. Millions of years of evolution. I think that the start of using heel walking and using shoes with high heels is related to that it's high status to be a tall person. So we have been faking height by putting high heels on our feet. I prefer natural people, natural and healthy people. After a while, it became the normal thing to have heels on the shoes, and now the shoe producers try to fool us to believe that we need the padding under the heel, especially to soften the impact of each step. When we walk on the heel, we have energy flowing up the spine. It's very hard for the spine. It's not healthy, so it should be softened. But putting padding on the heel is not the right way of doing it. We should go back to the forefoot walking because the foot is designed to soften that impact. It's tremendous effective. So from a health perspective, there is a right way of walking and there is a wrong way of walking. Forefoot is right, heel walking is wrong. The next step in the treatment of a client with muscular and skeletal problems is to articulate the joints and, of course, the joints in the foot. Make the joints movable, flexible. When feet are wrapped up in shoes with a hard sole all day long, it will lack this flexibility. And reflexologists should know the impact of this on the rest of the body. It becomes also less flexible. Here is a picture of my foot. It's quite wide. It is much wider now than it was 10 years ago when I started to walk on my forefoot. Someone commented that it is easier to walk or run on the forefoot than walk on the forefoot. And that is because of the shoes. You have to use shoes that are made for forefoot walking, and they have no rising of the heel, so-called zero drop shoes. So here is my favorite shoe. It's a sandal. You can see it has no rising of the heel. It's very flexible. It's very light, and it has even a nail that makes it grounded. But yeah, completely flat. If you wish to look more deeply into forefoot walking, there is a lot of information on the net. But I will recommend one book. It's named Born to Run. You can find it in several languages, and it's a very interesting book, and all reflexologists should read it. As a therapist, you should be a role model for all of your clients. I hope you take that responsibility seriously.